We had another great month of trading here live on stream every morning with you guys on ASFX TV. And I want to go over some of the best setups that we took, as well as some of the shaky ones and the biggest lessons that we're going to pull to hopefully have another great September. Now, before we get into the markups, let's just break down a few of the simple things on it. The trade win percentage, now looking at it, 86%. So very, very healthy there for a month of trading. Of course, it's on the high end. That's not my overall trade win percentage. It is going to probably go lower the more we keep on trading. But the thing I'm always going to preach, and maybe the more important one, is the day win percentage, right? Only 13 green days to 2 red. That's also not a lot of days trading, which brings me to the next point of let's go over the calendar here real quick. So on the 7th and the 8th, I was on vacation, so didn't trade at all because I was actually on a bachelor party. So I don't know if you would call that vacation. Certainly not trading while I'm there. But then the next week, I parlayed that into a vacation, which I could trade on. But I didn't trade on the Monday because I was traveling to the vacation. And on the Friday, I was traveling back from the vacation. But on the middle days, I did decide to trade because we're all going to do it. So those are those days. That's why those are blank. On Monday, actually a flat day. On this Thursday, I started and blew in a challenge account in the same day. I made a video on that. So now we're all up to speed on why there's so many gaps on it this month. But honestly, whether it was a vacation or not, it's not a bad thing to have flat days. But yeah, 15 days is kind of on the low end for me. But let's get into the setups and what made me get $8,900 on the month. So starting from start to finish, a strong rip at the open. Key retest to the opening range high and New York view up. My two favorite levels lining up on each other with clear sentiment today, right? All buyers in control, not chasing the drift, not chasing the small little baby pullbacks. We get a nice retest to my favorite levels. Oh my God, this is the textbook cookie cutter setup. I need to be in this. And thank God I didn't just jump in at the top here because it's giving me what I actually want, thanks to my patience. And I had to be even more patient waiting for it to work out. But thankfully we had a good stop loss well below structure to let this thing keep playing around with all these pins and keep me in. Now, one more note on this. And again, I made all YouTube videos on every single one of these days, most likely. So if you want to see more about the day-to-day, make sure you go back and check those out. But I'm getting in on the bounce play, right? The bounce play off New York VWAP, which is taught heavily in my Futures 2.0 course. Now, you could take the break play, which would be a break of this high day VWAP from back here. And notice how if you take that small break or even this strong one, how much quicker it moves into profit because buyers are 100% back in control. So not that it's a bad thing, but what I could have done to have to sit through less drawdown is wait for the break of high day. That would put me in the trade either there or there and a lot less stressful because it's just pure profit. But that's not the name of the game. It's to get a good price and have patience to sit through it when you have to. Now, this is another one not taught in Futures 2.0. Very discretion, not a smart play at all. We'll go over other examples, I'm sure, of why it's not a smart idea. But clearly a strong sell-off. I mean, my Lord, how much further can this thing keep going? So something just clicks in my brain of, we got to try to buy this. We got to try to time this bottom. I mean, this thing can't keep going lower. And we've seen plenty of times it does. But we got away with one slightly that I'm trying my best to use discretion. Notice how on the left side here, the 15-minute candle left a wick and actually flipped back a little bit bullish. So finally a little bit of buyers showing up for these 15 minutes. Maybe now is the time to try to call the bottom. And it couldn't break this lower day view up here. Okay, so let's get long. And I aggressively trailed the stop loss because, I mean, this is a stupid trade if you really want to go about it. So I got out. I don't even know how much I made on this, but trailed aggressively. I think it actually came back down. So it wasn't even like I called the bottom and it did reverse from there. Don't need to be messing with those trades. This is the textbook setup. This is what you should study, and this is on a laptop. If you couldn't tell what it looks different on the markup, this is a vacation markup for you right here. On a new high a day, don't chase the first break of open range high, but it's a great sign that buyers are in. They're starting to start the trend. Okay, cool. It pulls back to New York VWAP not once, but now twice, and a break of high day VWAP, and getting outside the open range high a second time. Beautiful. Stop loss clearly below all this structure. We go continue trend. As simple as it can get, right? We clearly know the bias is bullish. We know what levels we're looking to trade off of open range high in New York. Now I just have to wait for that time to buy it around that price. And you could even buy it back here. It's the same price, right? And it would survive no matter where or when you bought it at this level. But just simply when there's trend, that's how you capitalize on it. That's how you get involved in the move without trying to chase it up there, right? Even if you do chase it up here, which I hope no one does, if you buy it up there, I don't know where your stop is. And even if you do survive, right, and finally get back into profit, way more stressful, way more likely that you'll screw something up because you go into so much more drawdown, you're less patient, all these different things, right? So you want to try to get the least stressful trade so it's harder to mess up management-wise. Another simple one that I didn't take, but this was definitely the trade of that day of let it make a new low a day, pull back to the open range low, break of low a day view up, let's go continue trend. Now, if you remember on this day, this was the one where I blew the challenge, if I believe my memory serves me correctly, that I shorted it here and lost and longed it there and lost the account. Poof, gone by 10:30. So a nice hour that I held on to that account, maybe the shortest anyone's ever held an account, but I somehow doubt that. But let's take a look at my best trading day. Now, P&L, I think maybe also one of my best trading days, but even just feeling wise and flow state wise, this was definitely one of my better trading days in recent past. That just following the shorts, keeping it simple. A lot of momentum here at the open, so I just sold it. I sold it again, and it's not drawn on here, but there's lower day view up breaks that are being broken. And then I actually called the bottom and bought it back up. So not the smartest of plays here, but it did work. And then I sold it back down off this overnight VWAP back down in New York. So something was clicking that day. Trading with the momentum, trading back into trend, trading two VWAPs all over the place. But honestly, 0 time spent in drawdown. All profit, just timing it very well, not oversizing, also playing multiple accounts, right? I wouldn't play 4 trades if I was already up green, 2-0 on the day. That account's done. I'm not touching that again. But regardless, some nice trading on that day. Not always a great lesson in that one of trading the long at the bottom. This one, mid-range, open range still isn't even set yet. But I think it's viable because of, if you look at the left side here, that 15-minute, we pin that overnight view up. So we're already at the level that I want to buy it off of. It's just unfortunate that it's 5 minutes into the day. Because normally I would wait for the 15-minute open range to set and try to get down to that daily VWAP. But we're already there. So it just sucks that we're 6 minutes in. I don't want to wait 10 more minutes. We already are where I want to be or where I want to trade it. So I put on some risk on the break above New York, stop loss at open range low, and another key note about that, it's the open range low for now. We're 6 minutes into the open. This could make a new low, and that's not actually the open range low. Also another risk of trading it there early on in the day. But thankfully we had a lot of momentum, strong push for a new high day. I'm out. But it was holding the daily VWAP, break above New York, so I'm trading again with the trend. If you go back to many of these markups, with the trend. On this one, trend continuation. We missed the bullish push, pull back. Now let's go get that next push of trend. And hopefully if it's in there, we'll win. If there's trend disappearing, probably not. But very, very slow day on this one. This one also has some good lessons on an add-in. I don't often do this, but I added into the trade, which actually kind of cost me money. I cost myself money though, of course, of a long. It pulls back to New York, so in and of itself is a setup right here, right? New high day, pull back to New York. Let's go continue trend higher. It eventually happened, but like 2 hours later. So not at all like we were seeing in these other markups, right? They were very quick, very fast. So I'm playing the same idea, just didn't run as quickly. But when it gave me like a second trade in here, right, that retest and break, I added in for good reason. It's another setup. It's another trade telling me that this one looks even better now, right? It's telling me, hey, we probably want to go higher. All right, let's put on some more risk, tighten the stop loss. So we're adding risk, but not really. Just making my risk reward a little bit better now. And then that add-in actually cost me because then I got tapped out before I went higher. So kind of tricky to even assess what I could have done better, what I should have done, what shouldn't have done. Obviously, hindsight, I should have left the stop loss alone. But the add-in is not a problem. It still looks good and it would have worked out. It's just kind of the trickiness of that price action that day. So we live and we learn and we move on. Another simple day of the bounces off the New York. Hopefully made money on that rip. I did not. We let it pull back, break of high day. Look at the next push, right? You guys make money in the morning. I miss it. The train pulls back. We get back on the next one. And we all get to the same destination. So that's really all it comes down to a lot of these times. We've seen in the earlier markups. You're going to miss moves. It's not even always about catching the first move. Sometimes that first move is just crucial to paint the picture for the day and make this one even easier to long, right? One note on this one, you guys can't see it. The overnight view up was running on top of us. So I don't know if I love the longs like into that. We just rejected it here. What if we bounce back down there? I don't know if I love it, right? It could be better. So it wins. Oh, okay. Doesn't mean I needed to be in it because I was kind of liking shorts, kind of liking longs. But now that it broke for a new high and it's looking like this, yeah, I know I want to long it. So that first trade playing out without me in it, now makes things clearer and more obvious of what I want to do now. That's very valuable. To completely just erase a certain side of I know I don't want to sell it, that just makes my decision making that much easier on, okay, where do I want to buy it? What view ups am I going to use, right? It's always the same ones, but then it just becomes a lot more simple. So hopefully with this one, we went over just recently, it's a trend continuation. New low, pullback, let's go continue trend. With all the markups we just looked at, all the videos I make, I really don't need to go into that one very much. It's very simple, just following the lower highs, not being bothered by all this drift, no FOMO. We'll get something. There's our pullback. Okay, now's my time to sell it. Here we go. So that was the month of August. To be honest, going through the markups like that in order, pretty interesting trading. We had some mid ranges before the open range was set. We had some long time spent in drawdown. We called the bottom on a few trades, whether that was right or wrong, made money or not. I don't know if we need to be doing that every day, but you could also see how rarely I did it compared to the days where I just traded with the trend. And of course, that's not all the trades. I don't even know how many we went over there, but that's not all of them. But that's just the most simple ones that you guys have seen the most. Makes sense with the VWAP trades. We took more losses in there, of course. Did we even go over a loss? I don't know if we did, but we did lose. You bet that. We actually only lost 6 times though. So we did though, but I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's have a great September. Make sure you guys tune into stream all month long in September. You guys can get the first month for absolutely free. If you just use code FIRST, go over here. You can study the course where I'm breaking down all the trades we went over. They're all taught in here, and then we trade them live every morning with the same strategies every single day. Use the chat to your advantage, ask questions, receive feedback. Just use code FIRST. The link's always down below. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. This was on my top 150Ks account. I have 3 of them. You guys could always grab 3. And actually right now, depending on when you're watching this, check it out. Go search for yourself. But if you use code Evan, you actually now copy 5 accounts rather than 3, right? So code Evan's always going to get you the best deal with my code. But now you may be able to copy 5 rather than 3. So that's kind of a huge update, right? The 3,000 times 5 accounts, that's a nice 15K. Not too shabby. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you check everything out down below. Trade safe, and I'll see you guys on the charts tomorrow.